my point is she is doing a soap opera where she is triggering the emotions of women. It's female coded. I didn't say it was wrong. I didn't say it was morally wrong. I said this is a show for women.
It's intentional.
You absolutely have said it's morally
But
wrong.
No.
Milo, absolutely have said that her behavior is morally wrong.
What I have said is
like that's obviously the impression you've left, but you've said some
what I
very
have
strong
said is
statements.
specific about how she is telling people to pull their funding from Turning Point.
Yeah.
And she's destroying the coalition. Democrats are going to win in the midterms because of what she is doing.
Who cares?
And she said,
no, I care.
Is anybody in this room still on Team Epstein? Because I'm not.
Wait. I don't think there's
sorry.
a
I am
political
terribly
solution.
sorry. I am not on Team Epstein. I don't give a...
But my Republican congressman isn't Trump. It's the midterms. It's not Trump.
How does your local Republican congressman affect your life? He doesn't.
He does.
Oh,
I actually would prefer it not if the Democrats win the midterms and then start committees and then start arresting media personalities and doing what they did
impeaching
Peter
Trump
Navarro.
a gazillion
We knew
times.
that when we elected the guy. We knew that was coming. It's either coming now or it's coming in 2 years or it's coming in 4 years. I mean, what's your point?
It doesn't have to come.
Just not now?
No, it doesn't have to come if we stop these self-inflicted
Oh, yeah, sure.
wounds.
No, they'll never...
these are self-inflicted
You're absolutely
wounds and
right.
they're
There'll
totally
never be another
avoidable.
Democrat president, so that's never
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
not
happen.
saying that, Milo. I'm not saying that.
That was baked in when
Milo,
when
we
people reelected Trump.
we don't have to forego the entirety of Congress to the Democrats only so that they can spend the next 2 years after the midterms
because they're so effective and useful and they're doing all these great things for America and I mean really
They're not.
If you look,
Trust me, I was one of them. They're not.
If you look at I mean,
just
it's
not
the
useful.
greatest of respect
They're not
because I
useful.
like you personally, but you're the kind of person that gets elected to Congress. Like, stop it. Like, stop pretending these are people that we need. You know,
I think
you managed.
But I'm the first one to say that.
And that's why you're on a path to redemption that has saved you, and that means that
I'm the first one to say that it's a circus.
It means that I want to be a friend, and now Marjorie has joined you in that very bravely. I think it's a great shame, but I get it.
It's a great loss in my opinion.
It is a loss, and I get it. But prior to you two, I mean,
the Republicans are cooked.
You could get elected just inventing a story about yourself, a backstory about yourself that nobody even bothers to check, and if they do, the voters don't care. That's what Congress is.
But
And that's why it works with Candace Owens stories, because she's just fabricating stories and it works.
Not you, not you as well.
I'm sorry. It's just that in the
Et tu, Naomi.
I'm sorry. In the beginning, I would have totally defended her and asked her questions, but at this point, I feel like she's attacking the family of Charlie Kirk.
It's like
attacking his entire legacy.
I'm sorry. Like
every opportunity that comes up every year, I just desperately beg for a reason to go live in a van down by the river. I'm getting inundated with messages from prominent conservative personalities thanking me for calling her out, but are too scared.
They're being paid.
They're too scared to say
to post.
They're
that.
not.
No, they're privately.
They're being paid.
People are privately messaging me.
Sorry, are you saying that people are never paid to stay quiet?
What, do you think people are being paid to stay quiet?
Yes, because of course they are. Because I mean, there are all kinds of reasons why you want someone.
You think Candace is paying them off so they don't?
No, I don't mean Candace. I mean the other side. If you know somebody's going to be counterproductive to your mission, you pay them to shut up. Everybody who has run a school board election knows that.
Wait, hold on.
Because some people's
Democrats are paying conservatives not to.
No, I'm talking about conservatives or people at Turning Point may well. Look, anybody who's run a school board election knows that there are certain people whose endorsement is damaging.
So explain what's going on. There's conservatives who are thanking me for calling out Candace who won't do it themselves. Someone's paying them.
I'm not saying all of them, but in many cases that may. In many cases,
I mean, sincerely, who do you think who would be paying them?
Okay. So
Milo, who's paying them?
If you put it this way,
Milo, you're spinning. No, you're spinning.
No, I'm going to give an answer. I'm going to give an answer.
I'm
going to. I think entities associated with or possibly
name names
directly, probably Turning Point.
No.
Because they are losing the war against Candace. They're losing.
So why would
they're paying people?
to not?
That's what Turning Point does. That's what it is.
Wait, hold on.
That's what it is.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wouldn't Turning Point pay people to call out Candace?
That's what. No, because if you know that a particular person is going to be counterproductive. Listen, when Nick Fuentes wanted to damage Trump in the last election, I said there's only one way you can damage Trump: endorse him. It's the only way you can damage him, right? When you know that somebody's endorsement is counterproductive to your cause, of course you might pay them to shut up. And it happens all the time. I've done it. I've done it in congressional campaigns. I've done it in two national congressional.
Wait. So prominent conservative personalities
are paid to shut up.
But these are mainstream, normal, prominent people.
Oh, come on.
So look,
to this point,
I'll mention this. I'll give a shout out to House and Habit, who shouted me out too. But I don't want to call out anyone by name who's quietly saying I'm not going to say anything.
House and Habit, who, by the way, I'm catching strays from this like crazy old bitch now as well, who's like, just very personal, very physical comments, like I can look a bit crazy in interviews right now because I have a lot of health problems, which causes various things. But like she's a nasty, vindictive, personal bitch, and she, or at least let me rephrase that and say that her behavior has been that lately. Because
who is this person that you're like so concerned?
She's kind of emerging. She had 60, 70,000 follower, kind of like on the up and up, right? But isn't that interesting in itself? Like, what was her blog about? What was her blog about?
It's like women's gossip drama stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
you just proved our point about Candace.
Not the kind of person that you would expect to. Anyway, my point is this. I've done it in two congressional campaigns. There are people who you just don't want to endorse your candidate.
Look, there's
because
truth
it's
to that. There's truth to that.
Thank you for saying that.
Look,
Thank you for saying that.
I'm not.
You know that.
I know because I've been asked to stay out of races.
You've been the guy that's been asked not to talk.
Yes, and that's very true. There is,
and I'm not.
I have a question.
I'm not accusing you of ever being paid not to talk.
Milo,
I've never been paid. I wish I was.
And I won't ask you.
I have a question. I have a question.
It's mink.
What is what you're wearing?
It's mink.
Oh, the hat.
Yeah.
So right now I'm looking at two things.
All right.
Whatever. Let's step outside of the Candace thing a little bit and be a little bit more broad. I have an opinion that the political fight we are in, we are facing defeat, and
We won everything.
in the midterms.
We won everything.
yes, and we're about to lose everything.
And we've got hold on. Let me just get through this, right? Because we're looking at retirements.
It's been a decade of winning.
So the midterms are coming up, and Trump has got several marginal victories. Some of these things are not getting through, but let me just. I see prominent conservative personalities are refusing to speak out for what they claim they believe. They're thanking me for speaking out.
But you're sticking up for these guys when I'm saying is that they're normal political operatives. You're saying that they're spineless cowards.
Indeed. Right.
Well, then
okay, I'll take.
They're even worse people.
So the question for me is,
I prefer they were getting paid.
The question for me is
the Brandon Tatum who keeps saying I'm not getting paid by Israel. Well, then you're an idiot.
I never got paid by Israel either.
My question is, Milo, what is my reason for being involved in any of this at all? Honest question.
Because this is what you do for a living, and because where the center of gravity is, ideologically and commercially too, it affects your business, affects your life, affects your children, affects your wife, affects everything about you. Why wouldn't you be interested? It'd be weird if you weren't.
No. Why would I?
Silly question.
Why should I be this person? Why don't I?
Why
work?
do you have the opinions you have? Why do you have the position?
No. How about I just go work behind the scenes at a PAC or a media company and just
because the function you're performing is valuable and in fact, in my view, essential. Because this is one of the shows that has such a broad guest base. Almost utterly unique in media. The only thing that really comes close is real time, and they have that because of the HBO prestige, glitz, glam, and everything. And they can get. Although a lot of conservatives won't go on it, they do come here though. And you have maybe the widest, most varied, and most interesting and distinctive guest base in all of politics. Of course, it's in your interest to. I'm not saying you're doing this, by the way, because I wouldn't accuse you of that, because I don't believe that about you. I don't think you're that kind of person. But it would be in your interests to be anti-Candace.
I don't think so. Actually, I think it's
in everyone's commercial. It's in everyone's commercial interest to be anti-Candace because everybody else's views are going down and hers are going up. It's that simple.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong because the base seems to be siding with Candace. So it would be counterproductive.
No, I actually think criticizing Candace has hurt our viewership.
That's my point.
We actually got cancellations on orders. My morning show subscribers have gone down.
Yeah,
I've lost 3,000 followers on X. I hate
Shouldn't
politics.
you join the winning side?
No, I'd rather just go live in a van down by the river.
Isn't that bad? Though it's like if I don't win, I'm out of here. I'm out of this.
No. It's more like
come on.
I think what he's trying to tell you is not willing to sacrifice his principle because it's winning. No, seriously, just listen to what he's saying.
I'm listening to what he's saying, and it sounds like he's being affected by these cowards he's talking to.
And he's sticking to his guns. I think that's admirable.
You're not that, but
there's a big picture, and the big picture is this: there is a loose coalition on the right of various ideologies that came together because there was a unified. There was an enemy in wokeness, in insanity that was destructive. It's largely been routed. The right's now ripping each other apart. And
Don't you think it's necessary what Trump has been doing in the White House? The fact that he is
indeed,
well, he is once again the president of Jerusalem and not the president of the United States.
Oh, come on!
That he is once again. I don't want to hear this from you. That he is once again releasing Jewish fraudsters who ripped off poor people and specifically in the executive orders saying they don't have to pay the fines back, so they don't have to pay back their victims.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
But I'm saying, like, isn't it maybe a good thing that when it doesn't matter so much in a midterm versus when it matters a lot in a presidential election, that the right gets its you know what together, and that people have the opportunity to say, maybe some of it was Candace, but maybe most of it was Trump. The fact that the midterms were an underperformance, and have the opportunity to say some of it, because some of it is what Donald Trump is doing.
I completely agree.
When Donald Trump,
I disagree.
I agree that Donald Trump is dropping the ball.
Yes, when Donald Trump said, if you are, and I think I know why this is, because I think that Trump was probably a confidential informant for against Jeffrey Epstein back in the day.
I agree with that. Yes.
I think he probably helped the FBI take Epstein down the first time. That's the only explanation I can see.
Based on what?
Mike Johnson said it.
Tell you. It's the only.
Mike Johnson said it.
What did Mike Johnson say? What did Mike Johnson say? I missed it.
And then he walked it back the next day saying, "Oh, I misspoke."
I couldn't hear a word. What?
Mike Johnson was asked a question at a press gaggle, and he said something to the effect of, you know, that's why Donald Trump kicked Epstein out of his club. That's why he was an informant to the FBI.
No, it's explicit. He said Trump was an informant.
I know. That's why I said he was an informant to the FBI.
Forgive me, sorry.
Yeah, he was saying this chain of thought.
Oh, I missed that.
And everyone went, holy sh!
And then he rolled it back.
And the next day he said, no, I didn't mean it.
I misspoke. But in addition to that, and I think more importantly and more persuasively, because people do misspeak all the time, some of the awkwardness.
Not Mike Johnson.
Sorry?
Not Mike Johnson.
Well, I mean,
very intentional. I know the man fairly well.
So maybe it is a powerful, more powerful than I think. But when Trump seized up in panic, because that's what happened over the subject of Epstein.
No, he didn't.
There's a limited number of explanations for that, where he kept making.
I agree with Milo.
He kept making very, very obvious missteps designed to piss off everyone who loves him most, like Marjorie, like me, everybody who loves him most. People who, and I'm not saying that I put him in office twice, but I did the first time. I did help. I was a big component in the first time. But a lot of people who put him in office were like, what? Because Jeffrey Epstein, as Bannon has said, and who would know better than him, it turns out.
You're going to quote Bannon, who consulted for Epstein?
I just said who would know better than him, as it turns out.
I just want to make that very clear for everybody listening.
I just said who would know better, as it turns out. He said that Epstein was the key that picks the lock, right? Of all of the kinds of things that people are asking, like, what is going on here? Why is this like this? And why is that? Epstein was one of the central ideological planks of MAGA teleology. Like, why does the world work like it does? Why do things look weird? Why do those people keep getting away with it and those people keep not getting away with it? Jeffrey Epstein was considered by everybody who voted for Donald Trump as a central pillar of understanding that we would unlock, and it would be like a code where bits of the universe would get like decoded for us. Like, oh my goodness, it's because of that judge. It's because of that. Everybody had that expectation, and there isn't one person who voted for Donald Trump who did not want and did not expect the Epstein files to be released immediately, in full, unredacted.
I did not have that expectation. I did not vote for Trump.
Okay, fine. Everybody except George, of course.
No, that's not true.
Of course.
There's so many people. I voted for Trump for many other reasons other than that.
Stop it. Grow up.
You think that puts food on the table?
Grow up. Oh, come on. It's about egg prices. Stop it.
Come on.
Part of the reason that Trump was elected in 2016 was that Hillary Clinton was emblematic of the way that the world was going wrong. The secret elite collusion, Epstein, it was all linked. And people who voted for him the first time and people who voted for him every time since, you can't find me someone apart from George, apparently, who did not want to see the Epstein files.
Let me ask you.
And I promise I'll wrap up and let someone else go. But when he said, "There's no Epstein files," and then the Democrats made it up, and then stop asking, and then if you're asking, you're not a fan of mine, and then if you're asking, I don't want you.
I agree with all of this.
That is the moment Trumpism died.
I agree.
And don't we need a reckoning? And if that reckoning comes through the obviously, I promise I'm nearly done, the obviously inadequate account from the feds and Turning Point about what happened around, before, and after Charlie Kirk's death, where his ride or die homegirl is asking questions that have exposed some inconsistencies and some questions, and which seem to point to a different etiology for the crime than the one that we're being told. And when everybody from Turning Point looks so sinister, suspicious, and guilty all the time, and they're losing to her. Respect the public on that at least. They're losing to her, and they have every reason to be winning. So and she has every reason to be losing. Isn't it smart for us to have that reckoning at the Republican Party right now.
So right. So let me ask you. You said you praised me for the Jack Dorsey thing that I did when I sat down with Jack Dorsey on Rogan. What do you view my motivation as for sitting down and challenging them on these things?
I think that you are a man of good character. And I think that you are compelled. I see in your journalism, I've seen it when you were out and about more when we first met, like back in the day. And I see it now in here. I see, I'm going to blow smoke up here. But there's a reason I like you. I mean, you've been very good to me, but there's also other reasons I like you. I think that you are... I think that you are seized by injustice sometimes, and you just you get visibly angry about people who tell lies or who are hypocritical or withhold information from the public that's critical. I don't believe you got it right in the case of Candace. My friend, I don't. But that clear and ferocious motivation you may have others. Maybe that wasn't the right answer, but it's definitely...
It is the right answer. I respect that answer.
Okay. It's definitely... I think it's your primary motivation. And that primary motivation marks you out as a man of good character. I just think you got it wrong on this one thing. Is that okay?
Sure. And so I'll give you my thoughts. I feel like my principal motivation for everything is not even political. It is
I agree with you.
What is true and what is not.
Yeah, I believe you.
So
I absolutely believe that.
Yeah, the liquid death thing was... He lied about plastic.
Yes, he did. And when you cut this thing open, it's because I didn't get to say it earlier because I was talking too much, which I still am. When
plastic.
When you cut this thing open, it's a plastic bag.
And it says death to plastic on it.
And not just that, but they said that profits go to help kill plastic pollution. That's interesting lawyered wording that wasn't on the cans originally, isn't it? Stop.
So the issue that I see...
That's why you should drink pool water. Pool water is 100% artesian water. I don't know what artesian is, but it's on a lot of expensive stuff, so you should buy this.
So Candace tweeted out that you should not donate to this godforsaken organization.
They've got 500 million. They've got 500 million in the bank. They don't need any more money, especially not to lie to Americans. Sorry, I shouldn't.
But they offered to speak with her. And she said that she didn't know.
But listen, but they lost that too. They lost that, and we
they called her bluff, and she
we've got mutual friends, and I'll tell you who they are after the show. And I'm sincerely sorry I can't do it. I know that I have to do this sometimes because you, like me, know a lot of people, and you just can't say everything you know. You can't. You can't because it blows up friendships and things that really matter later.
Well, I end up saying everything anyway, and
yeah, me too. But I'm not doing it now. But we have friends in common, and I'll tell you who they are. Two of them who are turning point people who are tight with Turning Point, who told them they're losing and they're getting it wrong. And that's what I think too. She's winning. She's obviously winning.
Yes, and you're totally correct on the political dimension. But the question in the end is, why did somebody or whoever is behind it murder Charlie Kirk? And that's what we should actually get to the bottom. I'm totally fine with asking questions. But at this point, I feel like Candace is just making up stories out of the.
She is. I'm not saying.
I think it's just. I'm not going to say because Milo.
I'm not going to say because I don't know that Candace has arrived at the right answer today, or that she will do in a month. But I can tell you this.
She's not even trying. That's the issue that I have.
That I don't agree with. Look, Candace is the one person in public life, because it was not Erica, who has exhibited genuine heartbreak and grief over...
Okay, hold on. Time out.
I can't tell you another person...
You cannot be the judge of that. That is not fair to Erica.
Well, I did appoint myself the judge of it, and everybody agrees.
But you can't be the judge of that. You can't talk about grieving. No, Milo, you're wrong. I love you. No, but you're judging, and they have judging a widow's
grief. Hold on, I have a question.
No,
it's an honest question. Has Candace cried on camera at any of these shows? It's an honest question. I mean,
I don't watch.
It's a flippant and silly answer, but I know that she has cried a lot. I know that because
I'm not denying they were great friends.
I'll tell you what I think.
She is. It is certainly true that in recent years there was a drifting of Turning Point and Candace, and perhaps something of a drifting between between Charlie and Candace. Maybe it was the pressure from his donors that we now know he was speaking about later, just before his death, saying that was the reason it was pushing him anti-Israel. Maybe he was initially convinced to distance himself from Candace as a result of the pressure we know for a fact because they confirmed it.
So I'm going to give you a hard example.
There was a little bit of a drift, but
I'm going to give you a hard example.
She is the only ride or die homegirl for that man, and she is the only person who ever has been.
I'm going to give you a specific example from her show.
Yeah.
She highlighted claims that Turning Point was committing fraud. And these claims were, there were a few.
This is about the tax something, right?
Right, and it's all lies. The tax form thing is all lies and manipulations.
But when you say lies.
And let me, yes, absolute lies. The man behind these videos claims to be an accountant. Okay, so either he's lying about being an accountant or he's lying to you. He said the tax forms were missing as if to imply they did not file or they should have.
How they had not filed yet, or they missed the deadline.
In fact, he even mentions, I'm pretty sure in his video, the October deadline.
Isn't
which
it
is
true that they filed on the day?
I don't know exactly.
And isn't it true that when he said that they hadn't filed yet?
No.
Was there a way for him to know they had filed? Because there is an enormous gap between when you file your taxes and when it shows up on the IRS website.
Indeed, which means they could have filed it in May.
So in order
So
to,
that means
in order to say that it is a lie, what you have to do is
no, I'm not done. How about you let me finish?
Sorry.
Yes.
You're right.
Right. So in his latest video, he claims that the new filings, which, quote, mysteriously appeared, which they literally didn't. I mean, it's framing. He says that $1.4 million was paid by Turning Point over 3 years to a parking lot. In fact, that's just false. He's just making things up.
Okay.
It was 110 LLC registered to a UPS store where there are mailbox. A single member LLC is likely a contractor who uses an LLC for business purposes.
For sure.
And these are the stories.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you, because I haven't looked into this, that he's not wrong. But
He's completely wrong.
I accept.
And so
I accept what you say, but.
When Candace,
call him a
without
liar,
vetting...
to call him a liar.
Oh, yeah, I'll call him a liar.
It's not about calling him a liar. He's intentionally manipulating information.
Most importantly, to call Candace a liar, you have to do two things that you cannot do. The first is you have to travel in time, and the second is you have to reach inside her head and see what her thought process was.
Is Candace smart?
You cannot. Can you seriously doubt it?
I agree that.
Can you seriously doubt that she's not brilliant?
Let me tell you why I default to liar.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I didn't used to think she was brilliant.
I'll tell you why I default to liar. I've met her. I've been on her show. She's been on my show. She's a genius.
Yeah.
She is quick-witted and well-read.
Yeah.
So when she sees someone make a stupid statement like tax forms mysteriously disappeared, there's no way I believe she ignorantly just posted false information.
Have you heard about the atom bomb? I mean, like, geniuses can make moral mistakes. Geniuses can make research mistakes. In fact,
let's try this. She thought UTC meant Utah time. She posted her own lawyer's address.
Okay.
In fact, how about this? The feds work at her lawyer's office?
It is perfectly normal
for her feds to be working in the same office?
For a big office building to contain multiple companies, and when they do so, lawyers
didn't vet that the cars actually went to the airport.
And when they do so, it is extremely normal for lawyers to share offices with government departments.
She did not vet
for the security,
that the planes at the airport actually loaded up cars and went to that building. She made that up.
You're not going to hear from me that she's got everything right. I'm not here to say that.
Endless,
clearly,
bullshit.
Clearly, that's not the case. But first of all, I believe that she is motivated by a sincere desire to find out what happened to Charlie Kirk. Second, we don't know. We still don't know because they are telling untruths about it. I know for a fact, for an absolute fact, that Charlie has not been buried yet. I know for an absolute, incontrovertible fact, he has not been buried yet. Why? Why? When there's no good reason for it. I know for a fact. I'm going to tell you. You know that my faith is sincere. I hope. Right? You know that I. Thanks for leaving that. Thanks for leaving the silence there. No. I hope that you understand that I'm a sincere person. I swear on my Lord boy I lost. I swear, cat, not person, but I swear on God, on the Blessed Mother. I swear on Jesus Christ. I know for an incontrovertible fact that Charlie has not been buried yet. There's no good reason for that. None whatsoever, unless some trickery is afoot. Because, and they're telling people, it's because we're planning to build a giant mausoleum. Well, you put together the biggest political event in the last 100 years in 3 days. Where's the mausoleum, girl? Sorry, no. I know for a fact he has not been buried. He has not been buried.
Okay.
Why? Because people are asking them. They're saying, I want to go pay my respects to Charlie Kirk. I can go visit Nietzsche. I can visit Karl Marx. Why can't I visit Charlie Kirk? Where is he buried? Where is his gravestone? And you better have a damn good reason why he's not buried yet.
Do you have a
theory?
And
I genuinely mean it when I say that I would appreciate and I would prefer it if you were the face of skepticism towards Turning Point USA.
Yeah, but nobody else is doing it. She's the only one. So how dare anybody give her a shit for this? Like, how dare anybody give her shit for this?
She's the only one.
It's
endless.
Yeah.
She is the only one with a massive platform who has devoted...
Bridget Macron being a man and Blake Lively drama.
Absolutely agree with Bridget Macron. 100%. No.
Wait, you're saying Bridget Macron's a man?
100%. They can have me.
I'm not interested in this.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not interested in any of where this is going.
Let's change the subject.
I am not interested in these people.
Lawsuit on that
I am not
subject,
interested in this
let's
industry. I am not interested. I am not interested. And the issue is this: you said before, if I'm not winning, why am I here? That's my point. My point is, if I am not wanted, I don't want to be here.
But you are wanted, and you're more than wanted. You're necessary, but you're getting pissed off because people don't agree with you, and that's not okay.
That's not why I'm pissed off.
Yeah, it is.
No. My motivation for going against Jack Dorsey was not that people didn't agree with me.
I didn't say that. I said no.
In fact, everybody agreed with me.
I said that I admired what you did with him, and I admired what you did with Liquid Death.
This is my point.
I don't love what's happened here.
And now
I think there's a mistake here.
As there's been an increase in the questions around what Candace is doing, and I have increasingly been critical of what she's doing over the past few months, and she crossed the line with these vague. Listen, I'll put it like this: most of my life, I grew up around the hacking community and computer nerds. And the thing that I focused on was called social engineering. Are you familiar with hackers?
Yeah, of course.
So I used to hang out at hackerspaces.
I run security for EA, so yes.
And so I ended up working for nonprofits, doing fundraising. Communications manipulation is the principal function of hacking in general.
Yeah.
Most times, someone's breaking into a computer; they're not actually doing code.
No, they persuaded somebody to give them.
Right. I'm watching Candace do all of the basic components of social engineering.
This is tech support. Would you mind click on this link so I can share your screen and fix your problem? Yeah.
And Candace Owens is doing the lowest grade, but well done, social assumptive reasoning, manipulation, and it is evil. It's evil.
Okay, so I think it's ridiculous for you earlier on to claim that you're not saying what she's doing is morally wrong, and then to call what she's doing evil. I think it's.
I think it is morally. What do you mean?
You said earlier that you said
no. When I said she talks about her texts with Charlie, I didn't call that evil. I said she's allowed to share text with Charlie, and I said this is an example of a show that's female coded, and a lot of women want to watch.
People will rewind and make their own judgments about that.
And that's what I've consistently said. But I'll tell you what: when I bump into some young men who are Gen Z, and the first thing, so here's what happens: these three young guys, one guy says to me, "Oh, hey, you're the podcast, you're Tim Pool," and then his buddy goes, "Who's he?" And he's like, "He's got a big podcast." And he's like, Trump interviewed Trump. The guy then says, "Do you know? Oh, what do you think about Candace?" And I said, "What about her?" And he goes, "She went into hiding because they're trying to kill her." And I said, "You mean she took Thanksgiving off?" But she makes these tweets that resulted in viral posts. I mean, she knows she's doing it when she says, "Our show is off the air as an update. The White House has confirmed receipt of the plot against me."
You keep claiming interior knowledge of her mental state, which you do not possess and cannot possess.
I am not going to play this game. I am not going to play this game where you're like, well, she's insinuated literally every fucking time some nefarious bullshit, but she didn't explicitly say it, so I'm too stupid. I'm not going to believe it. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.